Once upon a time I knew there was a man who wanted our nation to grow. With khadi around his waist, he taught us lessons, but not in haste. He wanted a nation with quality population. The foremost was being honest, and instead of bluffing, treat every foreigner as a guest. Second was to maintain the national unity, but the reservation system separated every community. Keeping the tricolor always high, today the distance between us and corruption is far. Good evening everyone. Today I, Cadet Sahil Rana, I am here to put forth my views against the motion of the topic, is India a mature democracy? There is a platform in Rajghat on the bank of River Yamuna where wreaths are periodically and on special occasions laid, which symbolizes not part but the dharma, that is the moral duty that Gandhiji preached and thought he had left the nation into the hands of responsible leaders after him. But what are they actually responsible for? Responsible for a common man's conversion into a Naxalite when he feels that he is being neglected. Responsible for the insecurity felt by a girl walking alone on the road. Responsible for a poor man dying of full hunger on a footpath. Okay, leave it. Let us first understand what a mature democracy actually is. It is a form of government that is organized and works in a sensible way. It is a form of government that is prudent, pragmatic and practical in a way that all the policies legislated by them do not benefit a particular section of the society. Yes, our government is prudent, but their policies are just like ICICI Prudential Life Insurance policies that safeguard the interest and future of the politicians, but the common public gets nothing. Do you know, this time only 74% of the total Indian population has voted. It might have happened that if the remaining 26% of the people had voted, the entire government might have changed. Is this called maturity? If the people are not mature, then how come can we think of our democracy to be mature? After all, democracy is a country of the people, by the people and for the people. Our system is such that on one hand it talks of equality and on the other it reminds us of our caste, creed, race whenever we fill any application form, whether it be a job or an education application. It contains a special column that asks whether we belong to a general or a scheduled background. In our country, most of the funds are sanctioned to the areas with large vote banks, and there too it reaches after warming up the pockets of several middlemen. Is this the maturity you are talking about? We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular democratic republic and give to ourselves this constitution. On 26 January 1950, we adopted this constitution, and yes, it has matured, but only chronologically, and it has been modified seeing the needs and future of the ruling government. For example, according to the 39th Amendment of Constitution of India, the election of Vice President, President, the Prime Minister, the Speaker of Lok Sabha is beyond the scrutiny of any of the Indian courts. Why to talk of anything else? The level of maturity is evident seeing that most of the political parties don't even know the meaning of opposition. Its duty is to ensure that whole system runs within the core democratic principles. But what actually happens is that a Prime Minister wants to talk to the children on the teacher's day, and it is declared as an act to gain popularity by the opposition. During the election campaigns, all the party workers, MPs, MLAs stop working. The Parliament House acts just like an abandoned warehouse. Imagine the loss done. The total expenditure made by all the parties during the entire election campaign is much more than the money invested on the development of the country during the entire 5-year tenure of a government. What if this money was used for the development of the poor who are not able to get a square meal a day? What if this money was used for the maintenance of those so-called all-weather roads that are littered with potholes, but the speed breakers stand intact? This can only be done if our leaders, instead of pulling each other's leg, stop and understand the meaning of checks and balances. So, to conclude, I would just like to say that our country is suffering from diseases like corruption, inflation, overpopulation, drug exploitation, women exploitation. The sound of shun gives me a headache. Let's join our hands together to shun the sound of shun, to bring about a revolution and transform our motherland into a mature, democratic nation. Thanks, Jai Hind.